In this screencast, we're going to look at selecting evaluation items. And we're going to address a couple of issues that are important. One is, what are the generic items that we can use for evaluating flipped classroom across SP for purposes of comparison? And also, what types of other specific items could we use for our own pedagogic areas of focus? So firstly, let's get a frame on the types of items. Typically, in questionnaires, there's two main formats. The closed Likert scale questions, we're all pretty familiar with those. It basically goes from very good to very poor, in more technical language, and open response questions. And again, you're going to be pretty familiar with these. And these offer the opportunities to get under the data, so to speak. In other words, how are things occurring? What is the nature of the student learning experience? So we can combine these as we know. Now, the question of generic items for questionnaires in SP is difficult because different schools will have different pedagogies that they want to focus on and also different initiatives like intrinsic motivation. But here's some possible generic questions. Now, you can take your time looking at these, but these are 5 that we've come up with in our working group in SP. Yes, they will go through further validation, but you can see they try to apply to pretty much any type of flip learning situation. And these are the open response questions that we think would work. And it's a fairly standard thing. What are the most interesting, useful parts of the experience, the least useful, and what could be done better, differently in future? Okay, here's some additional questions, and this is just an example of a few. These you have to think about in your context for your subject area, pedagogic focus, and the areas that you want to focus on because you think it will get a better insight into your student learning at a particular point in time in the module. So as you can see, you can focus on the pre-class learning, you can focus on the in-class activities. As I said, these are just some examples. And here's a few more. Given that we're interested in how to facilitate in a blended learning flip situation, we might want to focus on the behaviour, style, the activities that the tutors using and facilitating with. So here's some questions there. And finally, here's some examples of additional open response questions. And as you can see, you can focus on feedback, the quizzes, linking of activities, the tutor, etc. Always remember that with these open response questions, you do get a deeper insight to the learning process and how the particular methods that you're using are being experienced by students.